Now that we are done with the foundations and we are certain that it is sturdy and grounded, we move on to the raw materials or the building blocks of design. First on the list is the element of color. It refers to the visual perception of different wavelengths of light. Basically, it is what we see when light hits our eyes. On a more technical level, it is separated into its properties. These are hue, saturation, and value. Hue is just another fancy name for the color itself. Example, the color red. Saturation refers to the intensity of the color, ranging from a muted or desaturated color to a fully saturated or vibrant color. Value refers to the brightness or darkness of the color, ranging from white to black. In design, color is primarily used to create visual interest and enhance the overall aesthetic and communicate emotions or messages. Now, how do we know what colors go well together? The answer is color theory. Color theory is mainly about the principles of color mixing and the effects of color on human emotions and perceptions. First, let's begin with the primary colors: red, blue, and yellow. If you mix the primary colors, you get secondary colors: orange, purple, and green. When you mix secondary colors, you now get tertiary colors. Now our color wheel is complete. But how can we make sure these colors work well together? These are formulas that are proven scientifically to work. Monochromatic color scheme. This is formed using various tones and shades of one single color. Analogous color scheme uses colors that are located next to each other. If your design requires multiple colors that look good together. Complementary color scheme uses colors located on the opposite ends of the color wheel. When used together, they create a striking visual effect and can make each other color appear brighter or more vivid. It is also a good choice if you need a color scheme that contains both a cool and a warm tone. Triadic color scheme uses colors that are evenly spaced, forming a perfect triangle. These colors work best when you let one color dominate and the rest serve as accents. There are other color schemes you can use. One good resource to check out these color schemes is Adobe's Color Wheel. Color schemes serve as a baseline for your color selection. You can tweak and modify them to suit your needs and liking. That being said, colors also affect human behavior, emotions, and attitudes. This is known as color psychology. Different colors can evoke different emotions and reactions in people. Here are some common associations with different colors. Keep in mind that these associations are not universal and can vary depending on culture, personal experience, and context. Overall, color is a versatile and powerful element of design that can be used to create a wide range of visual effects and communicate a variety of messages or emotions. The next element to consider would be typography. Typography refers to the art of using font style, size, and spacing of letters, words, and lines. Fonts play a crucial role in design as fonts can change the meaning of a message, so fonts really do matter. As a teacher, you have to consider what type of instructional material you are going to make, since different fonts have specific use cases. That being said, let's explore and learn more about these fonts. Serif fonts. These fonts have small lines or strokes at the end of each character. They are commonly used in printed materials like books, newspapers, and magazines, as they are easier to read in large blocks of text. Sans serif fonts. These fonts don't have the small lines or strokes at the end of each character. They are often used in digital media, as they are easier to read on screens and at smaller sizes. They are clean, modern, sleek, and stable. Script fonts. These fonts mimic cursive handwriting. These are often used for invitations and other formal occasions. Script fonts indeed look fancy, but are totally useless when viewed from afar. Display fonts. These fonts are designed to be used in large sizes, like headlines and titles, to make them stand out. Display fonts are often called decorative fonts because they are unique, bold, and funky. Some display fonts are also the identity of the brand itself. With such an abundance of number fonts to use, you might fall into the trap of using many. However, try to limit your font selection to 3. Using more than 3 different fonts makes a composition look unstructured and unprofessional. Too many font sizes can also wreck any layout. Also, ensure the fonts you are using complement each other. Typography is an essential design element that can enhance the effectiveness of instructional materials. Teachers should pay attention to typography to create materials that are clear, engaging, and effective. Next in line is line, pun intended. In the context of visual art and design, a line is a continuous mark that goes from one point to another. Lines can be straight or curved, thick or thin, and can vary in length, direction, and position. They can be used to create various shapes, forms, and textures in a design, as well as to suggest movement, depth, and perspective. Lines can also convey different moods and emotions. Vertical lines can create a sense of stability and strength, while diagonal lines can suggest tension and movement. Curved lines can create a sense of fluidity and softness, while jagged lines can suggest chaos and disorder. Despite the line being the most basic of the design elements, it plays a crucial role in design. Lines can be used to divide information into different sections or to create a hierarchy of information. This can help students better understand the structure and organization of the information. You can also use lines as guides or margins to help structure your presentation. You can also use lines to draw attention to important information or key points. Although lines may seem like a basic element in design, they are incredibly versatile and can be used in many different ways to communicate information and create visual impact. When you combine these lines, you get shapes, which is the next element of design to consider. Shapes are two-dimensional outlines of an object or element. It can be geometric, such as squares, circles, and triangles, or they can also be organic, like those that are found in nature. Instead of explaining everything through the use of words, a circle could be used to enhance an explanation or show a cycle or a process. Shapes can be used to help supplement concepts or ideas. It can also be used to organize, group, and isolate ideas depending on your topic. Utilizing shapes in design and educational resources can facilitate the transmission of information in a precise and efficient manner, while also incorporating visual appeal into the material. Shapes, when given depth, become form, which is our next element of design. Form is created by adding depth, height, and width to a two-dimensional shape. Form adds visual dimension and can be stimulating and engaging to the eye because it adds realism and depth that draws you in. By creating a 3D model of a concept, process, or object, learners can better visualize it in a tangible way. For example, how large is the sun compared to Earth? Overall, form plays a vital role in design as an engaging element in visual perception. By making certain concepts visual, learners can better understand complex ideas, processes, or objects and retain information more effectively. The last element is texture. Texture refers to the surface quality of an object or material. It is the visual characteristic that creates a sense of depth, dimension, and feel. Texture can be perceived as rough, smooth, shiny, or matte, and can be used to create a variety of visual effects. Texture increases visual interest because it can be seen as realistic and relatable, therefore enhancing interest and comprehension. You can add texture to certain elements that can benefit from it, such as a map. Adding a textured background to a presentation slide, handout, or worksheet can create visual interest and depth. These are just a few examples in which texture can be incorporated into instructional materials to make them more engaging, informative, and effective. By using texture, teachers can create more dynamic and memorable learning experiences for their students. That's it for the design and creative process.